Housing access and affordability is the big problem that affects Boston, that affects Boston's suburbs, that frankly affects all of Massachusetts. Tonight, we looked at housing access.
How big a city do we want? And who's going to live in it? People coming into the cities with money, attracting innovation, etc. We love it. But it's leaving an awful lot of room for people who can't afford to stay.
Most of the housing that we produce in the Commonwealth and in the city is primarily for families and individuals at the range of 60% of area median income or so. In this solution series, ABCD is really focusing on families and individuals who have very low incomes.
We've got to make it easier for them to access affordable units. Prioritizing people most in need, developing a lot more affordable housing, having a regional approach, and buying a lot of the existing apartment buildings that are now in the city of Boston. That would probably be my top suggestions.
I think a lot of the issue is really for all of us to be talking to our neighbors and our friends and saying we all need more housing. And just by saying, you know, it's a great idea, but not actually coming out to zoning meetings and so forth and supporting the housing, we're not going to get it built.
You talk about all of this economic development, we can pay a little more. And what we've got to do is carve some of this out specifically for the segment that we're addressing today.
I think the panel definitely had some good ideas on steps that could be taken. I think the panel was also very realistic in terms of the challenges and the barriers.
We formed a partnership with a for-profit partner that's actually helping to subsidize the affordable units on site so that we can have a total of 146 affordable apartments and condos on the site.
I think we need to do more to push this whole concept of zoning and multifamily zoning into the communities. If you look out the window, this is a different place than it was 40, 50 years ago, and we have to respond to that and meet the needs of the people that live here.
The audience in the Solution Series are the very people throughout Boston and throughout the state who are working on solving the problems.
But you said you feel that we're on the wrong path for subsidies or in the subsidy world. I was hoping you could elaborate on exactly what you meant with that.
I think we need to find more subsidy programs, more money for the existing subsidy programs out there.
You mentioned increasing student housing as one of the ways to get students out of the market. How do you do that without severely increasing the cost of tuition?
Our plan calls for the creation of 18,000 new dorm beds by 2030. That would free up 5,000 units of what is probably moderately priced workforce housing.
It's certainly not a magic bullet. We did not come up with magic solutions, but just being able to engage in conversations, that's very important.
I think it's important for ABCD to have a conversation about affordable housing. Housing cuts across everything else, and the impact, the need for housing, and what that sort of bears out in terms of other issues is huge.
I came away feeling that we have a huge challenge ahead of us. I'm always heartened when I hear folks that are willing to give their time to make a difference. At the same time, we face very real challenges.
The wicked low-income people have no place to live. They're turning to sleeping in their cars, they're turning to sleeping in train station, they're turning to spending nights on beaches, and this is a moral wrong.
We would like to keep talking about what the next steps should be for our city when it comes to solving the unsolvable.
Based on the discussion here, I would wish for doing away with racism and bias. Without that, I don't think we're going to make all the inroads we need unless we have a willingness to accept each other for who we are in all our communities